And now let me ask you one thing to begin with. And please just tell me by the show of hands, how many of you believe that you are brave? Thank you. Let me see more hands. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Ekta ji is not. She's living under missiles. She is still not brave.
No, we came out,
Acha,
but I
okay.
cannot think myself as brave.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. We'll find out today. So think about the most heroic moment you can imagine. What comes to mind? A soldier on a battlefield, a firefighter running into a burning building, someone giving a TED talk to 10,000 people, perfectly composed, saying something that changes the world. Now, we have been taught that bravery looks like that: big, loud, dramatic, the kind of courage that comes with background music and people watching. Um, so we all are, dhurandhars in our own way, right? So let me tell you something. I've been paying attention, and the most extraordinary acts of courage I've ever seen didn't look like any of that. Yes, that's what I wanted to share with you today. Now, they happened in kitchens, in office corridors, in a teenager's bedroom at midnight, in the middle of a WhatsApp argument, in a quiet moment when someone looked in the mirror and made a decision no one else would ever see. Now, what we are talking about today is bravery, not the movie kind, the real kind, the everyday kind, the kind that quietly, steadily builds an extraordinary life. So, we have been, or let's say, we have a complicated relationship with the word brave. Most of us don't think it applies to us. And ask anyone in this room, are you brave? And watch what happens. There'll be a pause, a small laugh. Me? Not really. Maybe a polite deflection. I mean, I'm fine. I just deal with things. People do say that. But here's the thing: bravery has been assigned to the wrong moments. We've given all the credit to the big, visible leaps, quitting a job, moving cities, starting over. And while those things are brave, they happen maybe once or twice in a lifetime. Everyday courage that happens before 9 a.m. So it's the conversation you've been avoiding for 6 months, or maybe it's the idea you have in a meeting that you talk yourself out of sharing. It's the boundary you've been meaning to set, but keep pushing to a better time that somehow never arrives. The bravest people I know aren't fearless. They're just people who learn to move forward, slightly scared, slightly unsure, and did the thing anyway. So, let me tell you, there are four phases of everyday courage. Yes, four. Number one, speaking up. So, let me tell you about Priya. She's a senior marketing manager. She's good at her job. Everyone knows it. But in every meeting, she edits herself. She has the idea, it's forming in her mind, and then the committee in her head starts. What if it sounds stupid? What if they've already thought of it? What if, and what if, and what if? And someone else says it 3 minutes later, and everyone nods. So, speaking up in a meeting, in a relationship, in a family dinner where something wrong is being said is an act of bravery every single time. Number two, trying again. So let me tell you about Kavita. She failed her CA exams twice. The second time, she quietly packed away her books and told herself she would try again someday. And that was 4 years ago. Someday's a word that has eaten more dreams than failure ever has. So, trying again after rejection, after embarrassment, after everyone in the family has offered their unsolicited analysis of why it didn't work, that is courage. Not glamorous, not loud, but real. And number three, saying no. And this is the one that belongs to even the men in the room. Let me tell you about Arjun. He's 41. He's a good man, dependable, generous, the one everyone calls when something needs fixing, when something needs doing, when someone needs help. And he has not said no meaningfully in approximately a decade. Last month, his daughter asked him to come to a school play. He said yes, and then double booked himself as usual and showed up 40 minutes late to find she had already looked for his face 3 times in the audience. So saying no to the things that pulls you away from what matters, that takes tremendous courage because yes feels safer. Yes doesn't disappoint anyone in the moment, but yes to everything slowly disappoints the people who matter most. And number four, being honest. So, not the brutal kind people weaponize under the banner of just being real, but the quiet, vulnerable kind. The homemaker who finally says, I am tired and I need help. And after years of insisting, she's managing just fine. The teenager who tells a parent, I'm struggling and I don't know how to talk to you about it. The woman who says to herself, honestly, for the first time, this isn't working for me anymore. That kind of honesty. It's one of the bravest things a person can do. Yes. And here's what no one tells you about courage, it compounds. Yes. The first time you speak up in a meeting and don't die metamorphically, it becomes slightly easier the next time. The first time you say no and the world doesn't collapse, you realize you were never as indispensable to everyone else's comfort as you thought. Small acts of courage, repeated daily, don't just change moments, they change who you are. So there's a version of you that exists on the other side of the thing you keep not doing, the conversation you haven't had, the risk you haven't taken, the no you haven't said, the truth you haven't told, even to yourself. So that version of you isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for you to decide that slightly uncomfortable and right is better than perfectly comfortable and stuck. So there's one, this one is your brave thing, right? Let's do our everyday exercise. So think of one thing, yes, just one, that you've been avoiding because it feels uncomfortable. Of course, not terrifying, not life altering, just slightly uncomfortable. It could be sending a message you've been drafting for weeks, saying sorry to someone. Yeah, that is an act of courage. Saying no to something you don't want to do, sharing an idea you've been sitting on, admitting something to yourself, write it down. Don't overthink it. Your first instinct is probably right. Even if it's not a complete sentence, maybe a phrase. Because when you write down, you acknowledge it. So, acknowledgement is the first step towards change. You believe that that challenge exists in your life. And that is why you're open to writing it down today. So you have to do that today, not tomorrow, not someday, not after the weekend, today. Because today is the only day that has ever actually arrived. Yes. So I want to leave you with this. We spend so much of our lives waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel confident enough, prepared enough, certain enough. But courage was never meant to come before the action. It comes during. Sometimes it only arrives after. So the brave version of you is not a future version. It's the version that takes one small, slightly uncomfortable step today, and then tomorrow, and then the day after. The life you want is on the other side of the conversation you keep not having. The boundary you keep not setting, the truth you keep not saying. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to begin. So here is your call to action. And it is just one thing. Do that one thing today. The slightly uncomfortable, unmistakably right thing. And do tell us how it goes. Because let me tell you, courage isn't loud, but it changes everything. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.